might be a good chance for us to show Gus how much we appreciate him by making sure that this reunion is the best one that Two Buddies ever had.
He ever tell you that we were in the Marines together? He decided to get out and drive choo-choo trains.
Chris is going to be an astronaut.
Sure she is.
Never listens to anything we say.
He lightened up.
Sings too loud. And he's always putting down Grandpa because he was only a corporal.
Never been a corporal yet that could tell a sergeant what to do.
Down those stairs, mister, and hop to it. Now, come on, I mean it.
There are different words for kids and grown-ups. Kids are stubborn, while grown-ups are just loyal. Kids are unorganized, while grown-ups are free-spirited. None of this is fair, unless you're a grown-up. Or unless you're Gus, which is sort of a different thing.
Will you hush?
Mr. Witherspoon, do you mind if I ask you what you are doing?
Madam, I do mind.
Why are you always so hard to get along with, Mr. Witherspoon?
Isn't it funny how someone who's almost impossible to get along with asks somebody else why they're so hard to get along with?
All I did was ask you what you were doing.
Well, I'm trying to get rid of a pest, you see, Mrs. Taft. Seems to be working.
Bees won't take root.
Gopher, Slick.
Come again?
They're for the gopher, Slick.
You mean to play with?
No, see, the gopher, he comes scooting along his tunnel there, and he runs into this thing, and he sees it ain't made out of dirt. So he heads off in another direction. Maybe runs into that one. Then maybe that one. And with any luck at all, he get disgusted. Move over into her yard, maybe.
Then what are you going to do with all these plastic bottles?
What do you got for me there besides all the questions? Junk mail?
No junk today, just this.
Well, thank you, sir.
You know what our science teacher asked us today? You won't believe it. He asked us, why is the sky blue?
That's a trick question. The sky isn't blue.
Is the shirt I'm wearing blue?
Of course it is, but that doesn't...
So I know what blue is?
Your shirt is not the sky. We perceive the sky as being blue, that's all.
Okay, Smarty. So why isn't the sky blue?
It isn't? Why should I tell you? Every time I tell you something that you don't know, which is practically everything, you accuse me of being a show-off.
I do not. But every time you tell me something, you sit there, you gloat and treat me like a kid.
What color is the sky? I do not gloat, and you are a kid.
Wrong. Being a kid stops at 10 or 11. I'm 12. That's preteen, and you do gloat. I know a gloat when I see one.
Fine. Just for that, I'm not going to tell you.
Tell him what?
why the sky isn't blue.
Isn't? Tell me, will you? I always figured it was.
Well, if you really want to know.
You see how she sits there and starts out? Well, if you really want to know. And then
Kid,
she says,
hey. You want to wear that sandwich?
Sir?
Let your sister finish, or you'll wear the sandwich.
Go ahead, Chris.
The effect is called Rayleigh scattering. Air molecules are smaller than wavelengths of light, so when incoming light strikes them, it scatters. Since short wavelengths scatter more, and since blue has a shorter wavelength, we perceive the sky as being blue. I'm sorry. That's as simple as it gets. It's the bare bones answer.
Then forget it. I'm not going to stand up in front of the class and say something like that. It's too much work.
Well, since it seems to be time to say things, I got an announcement to make. You kids never saw Toscanini conduct, right? Ever see Johnny Unitas pass a football? Never saw Casey Tibbs ride a bucking horse, right? Now you're going to meet somebody like that. I mean, somebody who's the very best at what they do. Go meet my friend, J.J. Moon.
Now, this could be really important, you guys. Think about it. Tell me again, who is J.J. Moon?
He's
You know what? You know, one at a time, and quietly, please. Who is J.J. Moon?
Gus and him were in the Marines together.
Yeah, man couldn't ask for a finer person to soldier with, Gus said. They swam together.
He didn't say anything about swimming.
He said they knew every dive in Hawaii.
Good. They swam together. That's good, sweetie. That's good.
Mom, why did you say this could be very important stuff?
Because we owe Gus. Because he was there for us when we needed him. And we've got to show that we appreciate that. We can't just take him for granted.
I still don't understand.
Well, sweetie, when folks get older, they lose their friends. Some move away, some just go away.
Some die, too.
That's right, they do. So if this J.J. Moon were as important to Gus as it sounds he might be, then we may have a chance to show Gus how much we appreciate him. See, we could do everything in our power to show Gus that we care about him, and we could do that by making sure that this reunion is the best one that two buddies ever had. So what do you say? All for one?
And all for Gus.
Yeah.
Final boarding call for passengers bound for San Clemente, Redlands, and Cucamonga. Please boarding gate 2. Final boarding call for passengers bound for San Clemente, Redlands, and Cucamonga. Please board at gate 2.
I can't wait till he gets here. He'd be the sweetest guy in the world, yet he's tougher in the back wall of a shooting gallery. You know, he used to be my drill sergeant. One time he threw a surprise rifle inspection. And I don't know how in the world I did it, but I forgot my rifle number. Well, you just can't do that in the Marines, see? So JJ, he made me stand there with my rifle on the back of my hands like that. And I had to recite this little deal. It goes, this is my U.S. rifle, caliber 30 M1. It's a gas-operated, air-cooled, semi-automatic shoulder weapon with a chamber pressure of 50,000 pounds per square inch and a muzzle velocity of 26 to 2,800 feet per second. It has lands and grooves in the barrel to make a complete 360-degree turn every 11.5 inches. One click of the windage or elevation knob moves the strike of the bullet on the face of the target every 1 inch for every 100 yards of given range, sir. My rifle number is 1341088, sir. I never forgot it.
How did you learn all that?
By standing there like this, that's how.
No, your friend sounds like just the guy to get David into shape.
I think you got something there.
Houston, Dallas, Albuquerque, Phoenix, and San Diego.
Witherspoon, Gus. USMC, Corporal, 1127402. Retired.
Moon, John Jeremy, Sergeant, 3420264. Stand easy, Corporal. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Gus, how are you?
Swell, sir. And you?
Well, I'm pretty good now that I'm off the bus. I was sitting by some guy who had this monster sandwich all covered with onions and garlic and all that stuff, and every time he'd take a bite and ask me a question, my goodness, it'd curl my eyebrows. Well, now, who might you be, little lady?
That's Chrissy, my granddaughter. That's JJ.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So you are part of Gus's second family?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny's girl?
Yes, sir.
Well, I saw a picture of you when you were just about that high. Your daddy was a nice fellow.
Thanks.
Gus, you old feather merchant, what are you doing dealing with pouting and pimples? You ought to be in Sun City cheating at shuffleboard. What do you think of your old grandpop?
I think he's
Did
really...
he ever tell you that we were in the Marines together?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Grandpa...
well, he decided to get out and drive choo-choo trains. Do you ever see those toy trains he keeps down in the basement?
They're not toys.
Well,
They're
I
not-
decided, of course, to stay in. Yeah, career Marine, Semper Fi all the way.
Got any luggage?
Been all over the world, done everything you could do, I guess. You might think this is strange, darling, but being a military man is really rewarding.
I can understand. I'm applying to...
What did you say, Gus?
I said, you got any luggage?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure I do. Excuse
We're
me.
parked right over here.
All right. Yeah, I fought in all the big ones. World War II, Korea, Vietnam. Pulled 3 tours in them.
Did you do any flying?
No, foot soldier. Flying is for panty waists. Get down there in the mud with the grunts, that's where it's at, right, Gus?
Don't tell her them war stories, JJ. She don't want to hear about all that.
You kidding? Kids love that, especially the girls. Besides, what else am I going to talk about? I can't tell her about the wife and the kids and show her pictures and stuff like that.
You don't have any family?
No, I was married to the Marine Corps. Pretty hard to put together a family, traveling as much as I did. Of course, I had my share of romances. Oh, had a bunch of them.
You old rogue. Don't get started on them stories.
Matter of fact, one of the reasons I come down here is to get away from a pretty little red-headed filly that was trying to tie me down. Wanted to make it nice and legal and all that stuff.
Well, why don't you just live together?
Hey.
Well, because I don't think her minister would like it.
I don't think yours would either.
Besides, I've been my own man too long. No, settling down is just not my style. That little filly's gonna have to learn that.
Come in, and welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Well. It's not as neat as Mary would have kept it, but looks lived in.
Hi.
It's my friend J.J. Moon, my daughter-in-law, Jessie.
Hi, JJ. Hope you had a nice trip.
Well, I would have had, except this guy sitting next to me had foul-smelling breath.
Oh, no.
Did Gus say your name was Jessie?
That's what he said. That's right.
Well, that is a pretty name.
Thank you.
Last Jessie I knew was from Moline. She racked pool balls and had a little tattoo, right?
JJ. That's my granddaughter, Molly. Mr. Moon.
Hi, Grandpa told us everything about you.
Well, I doubt that. I doubt that a whole bunch.
Where's your brother?
Oh, David, he's working.
You want to say that just once more?
He's working.
Well, now, there is one ugly beast.
This is Arthur. He's a basset, and he's not ugly.
Yeah, well, I know all about bassets. It's the dumbest breed in dogdom.
Arthur is not dumb either. He's a very smart dog.
Oh, no. You see, bassets have to be dumb. If they knew they were that ugly, they'd throw themselves off of a cliff. Well, Gus, let's see if we can find something to uncork and if there's anything worthwhile in the galley.
All right, sir, right this way. Isn't this great? You need something? Hey, you watch that hole, see? And when old Mr. Gopher sticks his head up, you bang him a whack with that ball bat.
What does he look like?
Well, he's a little fella, about this big. Got fat, furry cheeks. Kind of looks like a ground squirrel, only got no tail.
He's got fat, furry cheeks.
Yes, he has. Ain't a pet, though. Not like Arthur. He's a varmint. Can't get all sentimental over a varmint. See, all they do is make your life miserable. Ain't like he's a cow. You can't eat him. You sure can't pet him.
Why not?
More likely he bites you, that's why. I mean, that's what they do, varmints. Think of him kind of like he was a shark, maybe. Sharks, they kill other little fishes around them and anything else that gets in their way. Now, you wouldn't mind whacking a shark, would you?
I don't know.
Maybe a mosquito? Okay. You watch the hole, and if you see him, you just holler for me. I'll come and run.
And hit him?
No, Molly, I won't hit him. I'll holler at him. I'll holler so loud that you'll just pack up his stuff and move on over to Mrs. Taft's.
If I call, I won't call too loud because Mr. Moon is sleeping and I wouldn't want to wake him up.
Yeah, he probably needs to sleep.
Are those his teeth?
I think they are. He's probably got them paid for by now. Now, you keep an eye on that hole, you hear me? Hey, you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Who are you?
Well, I'm Tommy Marquette.
Well, what are you doing in this house, Tommy Marquette?
Well, I'm working for David.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you're working for David?
You see, he's a friend of mine. Besides, he's paying me $1.50 an hour. I guess he'd do it himself, but he doesn't have time.
Wait a minute.
I really can't wait a minute. After I empty all the trash in the house, then I have to pull the weeds and wash the dog.
Will you hold on a minute? You tell me David doesn't have time to do all these things. Why doesn't he have time?
Well, I think he's working for the next door neighbor. Her name is, Mrs. Taft.
Oh. He's working for Mrs. Taft and paying you to do his work.
Yes, sir.
Now, that is not bad. Not bad at all.
What?
Now, this is kind of artsy, craftsy. Yeah. Now, what does this mean? Is that supposed to be artistic, leaving a space on the wall like that?
No. I've got a picture that keeps falling off. Oh, look. Mr. Moon.
No, just call me J.J.
Alrighty, J.J. I think it's great that you and Gus are such great friends, and...
You always sleep in this late?
No, actually, I don't. But I've been bunking in with my kids lately. You see, I've been sleeping in a sleeping bag since you got here,
Well,
as
if
a
you
matter
think
of
that's
fact.
bad, you ought to try sleeping out in the cold on the Mekong Delta.
J.J., I think it's great that you and Gus are so close.
Now, if you had
Okay,
shot this
well,
in color, you'd have had yourself a dandy little picture. Yeah.
Well, what are you doing over here?
I'm working for Mrs. Taft.
Why?
Well, because she's paying me $3 an hour.
Do you know where your allowance comes from?
Well, Mom,
And you know what your mother does to get that money?
she works.
Don't you think you ought to work for yours?
I am working for Mrs. Taft. For what she's paying me, I pay Tommy $1.50 to do my chores. It's called subcontracting. That's what Mr. Moon said.
So J.J. told you to do this?
Well, he didn't actually tell me to do anything. But he did explain some stuff.
I see. Well, maybe I better explain some stuff to you. See, if you take a contract to work for General Motors, then it wouldn't be right to go over and work for Ford. I mean, if you're on General Motors' payroll, you probably ought to work for them.
Suppose you want to be Leah Coca.
Oh.
Who are you? Oh, the name is J.J. Moon. I'm a old pal of Gus's from the Marines. What you got there?
Fried chicken for the kids' school lunches.
Oh. You do this often? Provide the kids with their school lunches?
Sometimes.
I didn't know Gus was that hard up.
He's not. See, the doctor put me on a fish and poultry diet.
You kind of talk funny. Where are you from?
New York. You don't talk so sharp yourself.
Didn't catch your name.
Joseph Kaplan.
Kaplan.
Right.
Kaplan.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You ever know a guy named Amo Kaplan?
No.
He was a gunnery sergeant. He retired after 20 years, and he bought a pencil factory up in a little town called Stone Ridge, upstate New York.
I don't know.
Of course, he didn't know diddly squat about the pencil business, so after a couple of years, he sold out to a rabbit farmer for 10 cents on the dollar.
Why are you telling me all this after I told you I didn't know?
And his wife went off with a one-armed blackjack dealer from Vegas. I'll tell Gus you stopped by. Kaplan.
Must go and I must bide.
So come ye back when summer's in the meadow, and when the valley's hushed.
Hey, will you scat? Once again, sir.
All right. And when come ye back when summer's in the meadow, and when the
All right, good girl. Huh? It's not that bad.
I didn't say anything.
You don't have to out loud. I'm getting your message.
No point in her talking anyway. Who could hear with what's going on downstairs?
Okay, don't move. I'll get it. All right, come on in, Arthur. I'll get it. Hello?
If those two men don't stop whatever it is they call they're doing, I'm going to have the police at your door in 5 minutes.
Hello, Mrs. Taft.
They are either disturbing the peace or slaughtering a pig, both of which are illegal in this neighborhood. 5 minutes flat.
Good night.
Mom,
I know. Half of California knows. The question is,
how do you get those two guys to shut up?
That's the question. That's it.
What happened to one for all and all for Gus? Never mind.
I've got to figure out a way to get him to pipe down some.
How?
Well, I don't know, but I'm real good at this. You see, I'll take the big deal and make it a little deal. Yeah. Although there was some good news with the bad news. I'm a master at it.
You're a mistress.
Well, whatever I am, I'm good at it. Come watch.
Over the rainbow, birds fly.
Hi, guys. Hi. I had a great idea. Great idea.
Hey, we're singing here.
I know, that's what gave me this great idea. See, I was thinking, it sounds like you're having so much fun out here that we ought to have a party. Yeah. Or maybe even a picnic, an old-fashioned picnic. So I'll just make the arrangements, and you can just pick the day. How's that? Oh, by the way, as long as I'm here, if you could kind of keep it down a little bit, the girls are trying to sleep. They got a big test tomorrow, So, what do you think? When shall we have the picnic?
Any day within the next month.
Sounds fine to me.
The next month?
You hungry?
Sure. I get choked down a chicken leg. After you, sir.
Thank you.
Month. Do you realize how long a month is? Is this yours? Uh-huh. It's cute.
Thanks.
I mean, I will be a raving lunatic by the time he leaves.
Hey, guys, you know what JJ said?
Who cares? He picks on Arthur. And he never listens to anything we say.
Hey, lighten up.
sings too loud. And he's always putting down Grandpa because he was only a corporal. What's a
Well,
corporal?
yeah, but he always says that Grandpa can smoke him if you got him.
See, you're sticking up for him.
I'm not sticking up for him.
And besides, Grandpa does not even smoke.
You never let me finish.
Grandpa does not even smoke.
You never let...
JJ wants you to kill gophers?
Not JJ, Grandpa. So what? They got fat, furry cheeks. Who cares? I care. And you're a dirty gunky, and I'm going back to my room. Hey, dummy, this is your room. I know. I just forgot.
Any sign of him? Oh, Molly, confound it. Look over here. He's dug a hole here big enough to pass a tank through.
No, wait till I get in the house.
It's okay. He's gone. He's halfway to Peking by now.
Does that mean we don't have to watch for him anymore?
Don't mean that at all. Just means he dug down here to get away from me. Don't think for a minute he won't be back, 'cause he will.
I'm sorry. Are you mad at me?
I'm mad at him, honey. And yeah, I'm a little mad at you.
I'm sorry. This isn't a very fun place anymore. The weeds. Did you pull the weeds from the lawn? The front yard, but not the backyard. The backyard's what needed it the most. It couldn't look much worse. Well, that's why I figured there was no hurry on. Did you empty the garbage? All but your sister's room. They wouldn't let me in. Did you wash Arthur? Half of them. Half? He wouldn't turn over. So which half did you wash? All the left side, most of the north. You didn't wash his... You couldn't pay me enough.
That's not gonna do you much good, you know. I read in this sports magazine that kind of exercise, the kind you're doing there, could do you more harm than good.
Well, JJ, see, what it does for me is it gives me the chance to do something that I like to do for myself in private.
Boy, women in your family are a nervous bunch, ain't they? All in the world I was gonna do is ask her when she's gonna have this hot-shot picnic she's been talking about.
Look, when a person in this house has their door closed, it's usually because they... Hi, Gus.
You all right?
Guess, yeah. I don't get it.
What? You don't get what?
I don't get why you treat him the way you do.
Oh, JJ's my pal. Besides, he's a guest in my house.
Yeah, no, I know that. See, you're the most honest, the most candid person I've ever known in my life. I never asked you if you like your birthday present. I don't have to. See, I know that if you hate it, I'll be the first person to hear it.
What's my birthday got to do with any of this?
Well, you don't let folks walk on you. You don't pretend just to be polite. Never. You never do that.
So?
So you do with him. And I don't get it.
Can I come in?
Sure. Sit down. Look, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said the thing about
maybe
the door.
Maybe you should. I mean, I could have a little blind spot where J.J. Moon is concerned. But I want to tell you something.
Okay.
On Guadalcanal, we were just kids. Our squad got separated from the main company. Some heavy enemy guns found the range and started chopping our boys down like fish in a barrel.
You were there with J.J. then?
Same foxhole. We watched the company commander get it, the platoon sergeant get it, and every one of our buddies. Till finally, J.J. and I were the last ones there. We knew we were going to die. I mean, even if we survived the shelling, we knew they'd send in troops and mop up, and that'd be it. Well, we lay there side by side, knowing that we were probably living our last few seconds on the earth. And J.J. looked at me, and he took a hold of my hand. He didn't say anything. He just squeezed real hard. And I squeezed back. And we waited.
What happened?
Well, the shelling stopped. Our air support got a location on their artillery battery, knocked it out, and then a relief platoon came in and got us out of there. But the point is, see, we lived through that moment. We had an experience there that very few people ever share. And I pray to God they never have to.
I think I understand what you're talking about.
Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you understand as well as anybody can who wasn't there. But the point is, I don't see the same J.J. Moon that you do.
I know you don't. Maybe you could try, though?
Well, you need to understand something, honey. He's been my friend for 45 years. Longer. That's not going to change.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the best tour duty I ever had, American Embassy in Rome. Sure don't get food here like you do over there, though, I'll tell you that.
Well, I think you'll find this recipe is pretty authentic, J.J. I got it from an Italian family who lived next door to us in Fort Wayne. Man was a chef, worked in Naples.
Oh, well, then that explains it. You can't compare the food in Naples with the stuff you get in Rome.
How do you know? You haven't even tasted it yet.
Well, you can tell from the smell. Nothing smells better than Italian food, I'll tell you that. You know, they really know how to live over there, Gus. The only thing is they don't know much about sports. You know what they call football over there?
Football.
What?
They call it football. We call it soccer. David plays soccer.
Oh, you do, huh? Where'd you learn that? From that Italian couple next door?
No, I learned it in school.
Well, Too bad they don't teach American football in school. Must not teach the things that we had, huh, Gus?
They don't appear to.
We played baseball, basketball, football, and we took out the cheerleaders. You gonna be a cheerleader, little girl?
No, I don't have time for anything like that. I'm already carrying too many courses.
Chris is gonna be an astronaut.
Sure she is.
She is too.
You don't think I can do it?
She can do it. A girl can do anything she puts her mind to, can't she?
Tell you what, I'll bet you. I'll bet she knows more about being an astronaut than you know about her.
I was just making a joke. What's the matter with everybody? Don't get so uptight. I was just making a joke.
Real good batch, Mom.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
I can remember a time when you could take a joke, Gus.
Well, old friend, I can remember when your jokes didn't include picking on little kids.
Did you have a nice sleep?
What there was of it, yeah.
Are you about ready to get up?
Why should I get up?
Well, it's about what JJ told me to do about the gophers.
What'd he tell you?
Would you like some coffee?
You know how to make coffee?
No.
Well, maybe I won't have any. But I'm real anxious to know what JJ told you about the gophers.
Well, he said that in war, you always try to find your enemy's weak point.
What's the weak point of the gophers?
He said the gophers are lousy swimmers.
Look at it this way, Gus. You got a sprinkling system for your whole yard now.
Yeah, and my whole yard's on its way to Acapulco. Don't you go nowhere. I want to talk to you. You better take the kids and the dog and go for a walk.
Gus, we're not dressed for a stroll around the neighborhood.
Then take them in the kitchen and fix their breakfast. But stay there, because this ain't going to be pretty.
Okay, come on. Breakfast.
You don't follow orders too good for a Marine, do you?
Well, there's never been a corporal yet that could tell a sergeant what to do.
I mean it, JJ.
Oh, Gus, I was just trying to show the kids a little...
No, don't show them nothing. Down those stairs, mister, and hop to it. Now, come on, I mean it. Come on.
You shouldn't be listening to this. You should...
Communication problem. We're just going to have to talk about that, that's all.
I'll call you when breakfast is ready.
I got to ask you to leave, JJ.
Leave?
Yes, sir. As soon as you can get organized, I'd appreciate it.
Well, you said I'd always be welcome here.
You are. And I welcomed you, didn't I? We had a nice visit, JJ. Now it's time.
You don't remember, do you?
What?
That foxhole in Guadalcanal? We sat there in that foxhole and looked death right in the eyeball. And we laughed.
We didn't laugh.
We laughed because we knew we could be killed, but we could not be beaten.
JJ, we were kids. We were scared to death. We sat there and we shook like anybody else who was half sane would do. We didn't laugh, pal.
Well, don't you realize that that moment in that foxhole is what made our friendship so special?
How can you even ask me that question? Of course I realize it.
I'm your family.
No, sir. You're not my family.
Well, if it's not blood, I'm still family.
Will you stop it? You and I, we're friends, and we're very special friends. But I gotta tell you something, Pally. Sometimes it takes a lot of work just to be your friend.
Well, what does that mean? Does that mean you think I went all through my whole life not wanting a family?
That's what I think.
I see. Well, you found a woman. You got married, you had children, you got grandchildren. And now you can sit here and gloat because I never had any of those things.
You had a lot of chances. Every time I hear from you, it's about some new and wonderful woman who's trying to trap you.
Ah, that's it, isn't it? You're jealous. You're jealous because women always found me attractive.
I'm not jealous. I'm happy for you. But for whatever your reasons are, you've chosen to live alone. I don't know why you did it, but you did it. Also, you chose not to make any commitment. And you can't have a family unless you make a commitment, see?
Then you're saying that I ought to marry Carol.
Will you stop telling me I'm saying stuff I'm not saying? JJ, I don't know Carol.
Well, I'll tell you about her. Carol is a wonderful woman. She's a wonderful woman. But I can't marry her. You want to know why I can't marry her?
Not really.
Because of her kids.
You don't like her kids?
It's not the point. The point is that people our age shouldn't be tied down with children. If anybody should know that, you should know that.
Why should I know?
Because your grandchildren are ruining your life. Now, I'm going out to the garage and get my satchel.
You're not going to say something like that to me and then just walk away and leave me standing there. How's breakfast, kids?
Great. Wonderful. Thank you, Gus.
I don't mean to insult you, Gus. I just feel sorry for you and the kind of life you have to lead because of your grandchildren.
You pity me because of my grandchildren? Ha! You're nuts, old friend. Your brain's out to lunch. What you don't seem to realize is those kids give me 100 times more than they take.
100 times more than they take, is that right?
That's right.
Yes, I see. You like fighting with that boy about doing his chores. You like that, do you?
Wait a minute. No, I don't like it. But that's not what this is about. His chores and whether I like fighting with him. It's about what kind of guy he's going to be when he grows up. And I care about that. And I care about his sisters. And old friend, you can pity me all you want. But I'm probably the luckiest guy on the face of the earth.
I got some packing to do.
Does this mean Mr. Moon will be leaving?
I don't know, sweetheart.
Well, where's Grandpa?
I'll go see everybody. Stay right here.
Oh, no. I got it, sir. After you.
All passengers for the Los Angeles Express will be boarding in 20 minutes.
Thank you.
Mr. Moon, Molly asked me to give this to you. She said maybe he wouldn't bother you so much on paper.
Will Mr. Bill Johnson please report report to the desk agent. Mr. Bill Johnson, please report to the desk agent.
Tell her I said thanks. Well, in spite of everything, I want you to know you're welcome at my house.
You don't have a house, do you?
Well, I will have. As soon as I marry Carol, I'm going to buy one.
She gonna sell the kids?
You know what I was forgetting about it? Them kids is smart, well-behaved.
They wouldn't be good looking too now, would they?
Right out of a magazine. Did I tell you that?
Just a lucky guess.
Well, anyway, you're welcome. You're welcome here, too.
From time to time.
You mean that, Gus?
Yes, sir.
Gus, you know that moment back there when it looked like it was over between us? There was a time in my life when it wouldn't have mattered to me one whit, one way or the other. But it matters to me now. I'm glad it worked out.
So long, Sergeant.
So long, Corporal. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Made in combat. There's none like it. I pray to God you just have to take my word for that.
The last couple of weeks, Gus has been incredibly grumpy.
How can you tell? Gus is always grumpy.
She's got to learn to fend for herself, and so do you all.
What does fend mean?
You don't know what fend means? I'm paying taxes to send you kids to a school, and they don't teach you a blasted thing. I've had it!
Mr. Cathcart was hoping that you'd be Mr. Raskin's dinner partner for the evening.
I don't think so.
Oh, Jess, the banquet is the affair, and Mr. Raskin is a lot of fun.
I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that.
I drove Bill Raskin to the airport this morning. He was very explicit about what went on between the two of you last night after the banquet. From after the banquet till the dawn's early light.
What?
I'm your friend. Something's the matter. Now level with me. What's going on here?
The only problem I got in the world, I'm getting rid of.
Some of the results from your tests came back, Mr. Witherspoon. I'd appreciate it if you could come by the office and talk them over with me.
End of the week be all right?
No, Mr. Witherspoon, it wouldn't. I don't think we can afford to wait.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Kaplan.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Witherspoon. How are you?
Well, I'm fine.
Well, don't let me keep you from your run. I know how important these things are to you people.
To what people?
Runners, joggers, and so forth.
Oh, heavens, I'm not a jogger.
I guess appearances can be deceiving.
Yeah. Actually, what I'm doing is I'm out here looking for you.
Why is that?
Well, every morning when I take my children to school, I see you hiding behind that big old tree. Then I know you go inside and you have your cup of coffee with Gus. Don't you like us, Mr. Kaplan?
I barely know you.
You know Gus.
We're chums.
Well, that's why I came looking for you. I'm having a problem with your chum. May I call you Joe?
You bet.
It would make it a lot easier if I could call you Joe.
Okay.
You may call me Jessie.
Jessie? So you think there's a problem about Gus, Jessie?
The last couple of weeks, Gus has been incredibly grumpy.
How can you tell? Gus is always grumpy. Gus invented grumpy.
It's different now. Before, it was never mean. Now it's gotten kind of mean.
Breakfast is at 7:15, not 7:20. You get here on time, you eat. You get here late, you don't. It's that simple.
I forgot to set my alarm.
Next time, remember.
You can have the rest of mine.
You cannot. You eat what's on your plate, young lady. That's yours. Hers is on the way to the bay.
Well, I'm walking to school. I'll stop by the 11 oven and buy something there.
You'll poison yourself.
Grandpa, I had to have something in my system. I'm in training for track, and something is better than nothing.
So then 2 hairs in your soup would be better than none, huh?
No one ever tells you what to do when your grandfather turns into
You
deer
keep a civil tongue in your head, young lady, or I'll paddle your behind.
Why are you so mad at Chris?
I'm not mad at her, but she's got to learn to fend for herself, and so do you all.
What does fend mean?
What does fend mean? You don't know what fend means? I'm paying taxes to send you kids to a school, and they don't teach you a blasted thing. I've had it.
Maybe it's because I'm a little afraid that what's bothering Gus is me and the children. Has he mentioned that to you? Don't tell me, I don't want to know.
Then what do you want me to find out?
Well, because he's ours. Because he's Gus.
All right. I'll find out what I can, and I'll let you know. Now, you better get going back. We don't want to arrive at the same time.
I appreciate this. I really do.
It's nice to be needed. Gus, you here? Gus?
In here, Joe.
Be right there as soon as I get a cup of Java. What are you doing?
Painting the roof.
Gus. Gus, how you doing?
Swell, Joe.
What have you been up to since we talked?
You mean since yesterday?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I see. Well, how you feeling? Is your back okay? I remember you threw your back out about a month ago lifting one of those water bottles. Remember that?
I do.
So, how's your back?
It's perfect, Joe. It's never been better.
You're looking good, you know that?
Joe, why all the questions?
Am I asking a lot of questions? That's what you call a fringe benefit.
I don't follow you.
She comes out here, and she goes jogging around like that to get her heart pumping. She goes by, and my heart starts pumping. You don't get it.
Oh, I get it, all right.
Why didn't you laugh?
Because it wasn't funny.
Jesse's right.
I don't follow you again.
She was telling me that she is worried about you because you seem to be in a bad mood all the time, and she doesn't know the reason why, so she asked me to find out.
Jesse's got you checking on me?
Not checking, Gus, not exactly. I would...
Sounds exactly to me.
Well, so what if it is? People worrying about you. That's not an insult, is it? Not to my way of thinking.
Yeah, but see, Joe, your way of thinking is like a penguin's way of trying to fly.
That's unkind.
I'm not always kind, Joe, but I'm usually pretty honest.
Gus, I'm your friend. Something's the matter. Now level with me. What's going on here?
I tell you what's going on, okay? I got a belly full of a so-called friend who comes into my house in the morning for a free breakfast, whether he's invited or not, who sits at my table, reads the stock market quotes out loud, sucks his teeth, and giggles while he inhales. Joe, the only problem I got in the world, I'm getting rid of.
Your help.
I'm very busy now. I have to make a plaster cast of a hand for school.
But I'm in the Run for Fun benefit, and I need someone to help me train.
If you're asking me, you must have asked everyone else first.
No. Maybe I did. But I really want you to help me train. You see, if you time my running, I figure I could average 90-second laps, which would put me at 40 laps an hour. And then I could earn a lot of money for the school.
What do I get out of this?
What do you want?
I need a hand for my plaster of Paris. Do you want a trainer or not?
Afternoon. What can I get you?
A bottle of beer. And an egg.
You're not from around here. I remember faces. And this place is filled with nothing but regulars. That's how I know you're not from around here.
That's why I picked this place.
What's why you picked this place?
Well, Elma, that's you. Your name's Elma?
Yeah, it's Elma.
Well, you're right, Elma. Not from around here, and I don't know anybody that is, so I probably won't run into anybody here that I do know.
Look, mister, I think you picked the wrong bar. There's nothing here but family trade.
I know. See, I got something I gotta say that I can't talk about around home, around my family and all, you know.
I know. You're going to tell me that your wife doesn't understand.
No, ma'am. Not going to tell you that. See, my wife died 5 years ago, but she understood me, I guess, better than any human being on the face of the earth. What I gotta say to somebody I probably won't ever see again. But I do have to say it. Right out. Because I need to know that I can. You know what I mean? See, Alma, I'm real scared. I think I might be dying. Thanks for the beer. The hard-boiled egg.
Boy, it's been a day about waiting in line, I'll tell you. First I had to wait in line at the building commission, then the bank, then the post office, then the elevator, and now I suppose you'll tell me that I've got to wait in line for Mr. Cathcart, huh?
Cathcart had to check out a construction site. But he left you 2 messages. First, he said he's willing to sponsor Chris in her run for fund benefit at $0.25 a lap.
$0.25 a lap? Wow. I guess I'll owe him one for that, huh?
And that's what Cathcart was hoping. One of his clients, Mr. Raskin, will be attending the annual architecture banquet, and Mr. Cathcart was hoping that you would be